Happy Wednesday, October 1st. We've got the fall weather out there. We're ready to rock and roll around Cooking for One. Thank you for coming. My name is Tara Hammes, and I am a registered dietitian and the Healthy Aging Manager for the Massachusetts Councils on Aging. I'm sorry you missed the first video, but it is on YouTube, and these all will be, but I'm glad I was able to give you some extra handouts. The Massachusetts Councils on Aging is a member organization. We support all of the Councils on Aging and their centers around the state, providing training, technical assistance, advocacy, etc. And one of the best parts of my job is to come out to the community and talk about how we decrease older adult malnutrition. So here we are. And this is the second in a year-long series around nutrition ed with some food demos. And what I said to Pat earlier is, like, I would love for this to be a conversation, because I can stand here and just talk at you the whole time, but I think it'll be great if we could share from each other as well. So the plan for today is we're going to talk about the importance of cooking meals, Cooking for One challenges, and then strategies and tips and resources. I know a lot of this will not be new to you. Consider it a bit of a refresher, but then also we'll have some other ideas that maybe you hadn't thought of in a while. But I don't think anything is going to be brand new for folks. All right, here you go. Okay. If I'm too loud or go too fast, let me know, and I will try to slow down. It's not in my nature. All right, so why do we cook? Why? Why do we eat?
Supply our body.
Supply our body, right? We want to keep going. We want to age healthfully. And I like to say we want to match our health span with our age span. Yeah, we want to live as long as we can and have a happy, fruitful life, but we also want to be able to do the things such as stay in our homes, not fall down, climb the stairs, etc. A few statistics to share. My background is in community nutrition. A lot of times when I share that I'm a dietitian, I hear, oh, so you work in a hospital? No, I'm in the community. I want to make sure that people are aware of where the food resources are. And the reason is that without having proper nutrition, our bodies are not able to age healthfully, and that ties into whether we are also at risk of hunger or experiencing hunger. 7% of older adults are food insecure. Those with a disability or those people of color are even more likely to suffer from food insecurity. The other reason we want to cook and make sure that we're eating well is that we need to improve the variety. So how many of you have heard eat a variety of foods? Right, that's the reason, right? It's also cheaper when we cook at home, most of the time, usually, financially anyway. You can choose your preferences, and then it really does have a number of benefits on your mental health. One of the things that I want to mention around malnutrition is the connotation of someone being malnourished, being like emaciated and frail. And it's really when you don't eat the right amount of nutrients, all nutrients, not just calories. So you can be, we say over fat, but still underfed, malnourished, okay? Does that make sense to everybody? All right. I keep stepping over here, but I don't need to. Woohoo, I'm like a free woman now. So why is it hard? Our recipes are designed for more people, right? How many recipes have you seen are for one? Not so many. How about the ingredients? Sold in like little serving sizes or bigger packs, right? One of the biggest challenges is effort versus reward. It can feel like a lot of work, right? Don't you just want to like go to the fridge or go to the cabinet and magically like, where's my dinner? Where's my meal? And sometimes that does become the meal, and that's okay. It's just not the best choices, but as long as we aren't eating cereal for every meal, it's okay.
I've done that.
Right. No, for every meal. Yeah. Right. Guilty. So Disclosure, I should have mentioned this before. I am like the most relaxed dietitian you will meet, and we talk about ins and outs in the class, okay? So beware. The nurses are not fazed by it. A lot of people don't eat leftovers. You don't want to have the same thing over and over again. Other people don't care. Right? And then there's a motivation factor. You know, what's the payoff? I don't really feel like it. And that ties into a little bit around the effort versus reward. Any questions so far? Feel free to hop in if you have any, or if you want to add your 2 cents.
Yeah, I guess, what do you think about nutrition drinks as being, just going to?
As a nutrition drink, like one of the supplements or something? They're okay once in a while. They are recommended for folks who have other chronic issues, but it's hard to sustain health just on those. So
Are they high in sugar?
some are, but we need carbs to function. So yeah, I will say it's a trade-off probably 20 times this morning. They're okay, but just like you wouldn't want to have a steady diet of orange juice, right? All right, so what are some strategies? We're going to go through those issues one at a time. Recipes designed for multiple people, multiple servings. What can you do? I won't stand here and read every line on every slide, but if there's something you see or something that you think of that's not on here, feel free to pitch in. We could, like, I don't know how many people will make half a recipe. I think most of us will make the full recipe and freeze part of it, right? What?
I might make half.
You might.
Most of the time.
Depends on the recipe, maybe.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
If it's a whole can of something, what do you do?
Right, right. And now it being fall, and we might be making some pumpkin recipes. It never calls for the whole can of pumpkin. Just today, I was like, I didn't use the rest of that can of pumpkin. Out it goes. You can embrace flexible recipes, and that's something that we're going to prepare today, where you don't have to have exact measurements. You can go in your cabinet and say, oh, what can I make with what I have? Some people are able to do that easily. Other people like need a recipe. I'm not that smart with it sometimes. Yeah.
What's a individual meal kit?
So those are the meal kits that you can order, like subscriptions. There's Blue Apron, Hungry, Purple Carrot, all of those. They are more expensive because the labor is included and the packaging. I don't know if any of you have any of you used them.
Did it once, yeah.
You did it once. What'd you think?
I loved the food.
Mm-hmm. But
No,
Oh.
I just loved it.
the recipes.
Yes, I
Okay.
loved the recipes, I loved the food, and all the little spices
Yeah.
were individual.
The little tiny
So
pouches.
you get just the right amount
Mhm.
of spice. It was delicious.
Okay. And you said you've tried it too?
Yeah, I tried it. What I found was it was expensive.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
pricey, definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is, and what I found is that there's a lot of waste, like all of the packaging.
Yes,
Yeah, so
exactly.
it's a trade-off. It depends on, how you want to spend your time and your energy and your money. There are recipe calculators. You can go on and try to reformulate a recipe if you're so motivated. I would definitely recommend that if you're baking, because that is more of a science. Some people disagree. And then you can access single serving cookbooks and websites. So I think this is really helpful. And I'm not promoting one over another. I just want to give you some examples. But I did show this in a class once, and someone said, oh, I have, they pointed out one, and they really enjoyed it. The other option is myplate.gov, but My Plate Kitchen is a great website to go to where you can put in a couple of ingredients and it will generate some recipes. Sometimes they're servings of 1 to 2, other times they're larger batches. And I think we covered that in the brain health class, but it'll come up again. And then what you can do is you can sort the results by, the cooking equipment that you have, the cost, etc. So it's one other tool. And then there are apps you can use as well. There's Cookpanion. For those of us who are low tech and prefer the paper, there's cookbooks out there for you. Okay. Does anybody have any single serve or like cooking for one cookbooks? Maybe you can put it on your holiday wish lists for someone to give you.
Or the library might
Mm.
have copies to
Absolute-
check out.
yes.
What I've done is if I find something, I haven't done cooking for one before, but if I find a cookbook, like I'll look for it in the library, and if I like it, then I'll go out and buy it.
That's really smart. Yeah.
You save money.
It's try before you buy.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So the ingredients themselves also sold in larger packs often. And sometimes that works to our advantage because we can break it down and store it, or they'll have longer shelf life, or we can freeze it for later use if it's something that's perishable. The other thing you could do, some people like to shop using the bulk bins. Other people do not because they're afraid of the cross-contamination. Valid, I know, you're making the face like, not so sure. True. One thing I always recommend is choosing frozen over fresh if you're looking to decrease your food waste, and really pay attention to your food budget, because you'll only pull out as much as you need. And then the rest of it won't go to waste because it's fresher, and then you're basically throwing money away, right? Because that's the other thing we don't want to do. We don't want to be wasting food or wasting our cash up front. Yes, ma'am.
Fresh off a tree, like going to Tugas and picking an apple, that feels so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The same apple 2 days from now isn't gonna taste the same.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe isn't even gonna have the same nutrients,
It-
but I don't know. But it's amazing to get something fresh out of the
Yeah.
garden.
Anytime.
And in that case, I would add to your list to plant.
Yes.
To plant a few things that you can have straight out of
I agree.
the garden or off the tree.
Yeah, like locally grown is fabulous option. Definitely if you can go in your backyard, or if you do any container gardening, then again, you're going to just pick what you need.
And we have Tugas, we have that wonderful
Tuga's
pick your own.
farm. Yeah, okay. And 'tis the season right now with the apples. I'm not sure how many of you do this, but do you keep an inventory list, or even in your mind, like what you have in your pantry that you know you need? Not so much. Yeah, there's some foods that I definitely, have a par level for. I want to make sure that I always have them. Beans and tomatoes are one of them. And I know that if I have beans and tomatoes and and I always have onions, that I can always whip something up for someone who does not like whip up things very often.
Where should you keep onions?
I'm sorry?
Where do
Can
you keep
onions
onions?
and potatoes go in the fridge, or they have to be on the counter?
They should be on the counter, but separate.
Then you call fruit flies if you don't eat it quickly.
Right, and yeah, if you don't, and yeah, it can spoil, definitely. But the potatoes, like the gases, will cause one to ripen faster than the other. So you should definitely keep your onions and potatoes separate.
Yes.
They don't have to be in different
So
parts of the
that's a
room.
problem.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're, going to use them right away or within a few days. Were you going to say something? No? No? Okay.
Me, I could say, and separate from bananas.
And yes, and bananas. Uh-huh. Yep.
Why, what do bananas?
I don't know, they supposedly ripen faster in the presence of acidic type.
Yeah, the ethylene gases that causes the ripening to happen faster. Yep. That's why we would want to keep them separate.
That's what they say anyway.
Yes.
How much counter space do you have?
Well, I mean, if you don't have counter space, then you don't. You just make do with what you have. And that's the other thing. Like I always say I'm here to give you the information and you figure out works for you or not. If you don't have a working oven, then we're not going to make any recipes with an oven. And, we all are at different phases. But that's another reason why I like to do these talks, is because I want people to feel like they can look at where they're at and decide if they can move just 1% better just a little bit better. And I know it's getting a lot harder right now too with the cost of everything, you know, $50 apples or not, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So the other challenge that we often see is the effort versus reward. A lot of times when we think that we need to prepare some food, it feels like a monumental task because we know how long it's going to take, how many steps there are. So I encourage you to simplify, you know, do any prep in advance. I like to say cook once, eat twice, or do some batch cooking. Specifically right now, I will say football Sundays. I've moved the television over so I can see it from my counter, and I do the food prep and I watch the games, and then I'll eat the same 3 things all week long, but that's fine by me, right? And then I only have to cook really once or twice a week because I don't enjoy doing it every single day. How many of you enjoy cooking every single day? Right? All hands went like this, right? We like to cook, most of us, but it's a lot of work. And the other part that people forget is it's not only like the actual cooking part, but it's the prep, the chopping, especially with the vegetables. People are like, I'm not doing all that chopping. The cooking, the eating, the cleanup, right? It's all of it, and it takes time. You can also make some assembly meals, and this is along the lines of the more flexible meals. You can just sort of go through in your cupboard, in your fridge, what do I have? You can make some snack meals as well, like girl dinner. I don't know if we talked about that last time, but does anybody know what girl dinner is? Go ahead, throw it out there.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit. You just, whatever you eat, that's your dinner, and you're not apologizing for it. It might be some pieces of cheese, some Cheetos, and some raisins, and be like, this is what I'm having for dinner, and everybody else can just leave me alone, right? It's a very loose, like tapas style. So you can pick and choose without feeling like you have to cook an actual meal. I do encourage you, though, to try to choose from the different food groups, but you do you. Okay, some varieties. How many of you like leftovers? All right, most. Oh, and some no's. Okay, definitely. Even if you don't like varieties, you can choose a base ingredient and cook multiple recipes using it. What's a good example that we can start with?
Tomatoes,
Canned tomatoes,
Beans.
beans. What about
pasta,
pasta, right? You could mix anything in with your pasta.
chicken.
Chicken, yeah. Like if you get like chicken, especially if it's on sale, you know, you're not going to use that whole pack. Just pull out what you need and then freeze or individually portion. I don't know if it was in this class or another one, but one of my, especially now as I'm an empty nester, one of my challenges is when I'm making pasta, I never use the whole jar of sauce. And then I end up like, I date it. And then weeks later, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have, nope, not going to have that sauce. It's a little too old. And someone said, why don't you just freeze it? And I had never, right? And it's so simple. And now I swear my phone heard me because then like something on social media popped up and someone was using, they were like little frozen loaf pans and she had like 1 portions of sauce in there. They weren't ice cubes. I don't know what they were, but it reminded me like,
Those mini loaves,
yes,
like you bake them at Christmas. To
yeah,
get to-
thank you, yes,
yeah.
yeah, okay. So it was a loaf, okay, very good. So you can do that, and then you don't have to, especially if you're making your own sauce, you're not going to eat it all at once. Okay, try some new ingredients. If you go to the store and you're feeling adventurous and you're in the produce aisle or the, you know, multicultural foods aisle and you see something, you said, oh, I've never had that. Give it a try. Just try it once. It doesn't mean like you have to love it or have to have it 50 times in a row, but it's a good way to stick your toe in some other waters, and you never know, you might like it. I know that I get in a rut and make the same things over and over. Anybody else? Yeah. And this happened with my daughter and I said, I'm in a rut. And the agreement we made was she would find the recipes. I said, whatever you choose, I will cook. And so that way we actually ended up building a loose like recipe file cookbook of new dishes that we like. And then we got in a rut eating those new dishes all the time. But it's a good way to try new things. And then you can also, make the smaller portions of different meals, but if you have friends or family around and you could swap meals, you can look to see if there's any in this community or your own community, any like cookbook clubs, cooking clubs. I have a couple of friends who they choose a cookbook each month and choose a recipe from the cookbook and then make it and get together and have a potluck. And then that way, that's another way to try out a new cookbook. And then they swap. All right. The cooking challenge, I will say. And I think some of those are offered through libraries as well. I don't know if there's one in Shrewsbury. There is?
Every month.
Oh.
Just about, really? A challenge, a cooking club?
Yeah, or,
Oh.
yeah.
Do they supply you with the recipe, or how's it that
Well,
work?
they'll pick a book and then they'll have the books, maybe from other libraries, whatever, available to you. And I guess you pick, I've never done it, but you pick a recipe and let the person in charge know. And then they have, it's usually in the evening, I think.
Interesting. Okay. Is that on the, not HubSpot, what is the electronic board? I wonder if it's on there in the programs. Okay, so we have,
They're gonna get
Shrewsbury
7 phone
Library's
calls.
website. has the events.
we'll all be calling, right,
That's
right,
the cookie.
right.
Who is this?
Thank you for that. That's good to know. All right, some other strategies to increase the motivation. Like I said, football Sundays work for me. Also, podcasts, music. Home alone, I'm still wearing the headphones. I got to the headphones wearing stage where I don't want to leave the room and I can't hear the radio when I'm listening. So it keeps me company, and it makes cooking a little more enjoyable for me. You can also listen to podcasts or other food creators. If you want to listen to your favorite, Motown station, you can throw that on. And it says treat yourself like a guest, but really just treat yourself with like an additional bit of respect and love and care. Like this is what you are doing intentionally. I like to say that we only need to do 2 things to stay alive, which are breathe and eat. And breathing is involuntary. So why don't we put a little more care and time, if we can, into what we make for ourselves, right? We're treating ourselves. And remind yourself why you cook. And whatever it is that you have on your table, we can be grateful for. You can also set a challenge. Any idea around cooking challenges or food challenges that come to mind?
Kind of blends with the group thing. I have several different groups. I think I'm gonna organize once a month for the winter months, a soup every month. And have them come over, and then it's your turn, that type of thing.
That's a great idea. Yep. And it's just,
Winters can be lonely.
they can be lonely and it's getting
One
dark,
person.
right? And it's one thing. You don't have to completely revamp everything that you do at home, but that one little initiative can snowball. And you mentioned like one of the most important things is that it can get lonely, and eating together is so beneficial. There's a study, and I need to go look up the actual percentage. I said this last time. There's a study that showed when older adults eat together, they eat either 34 or 43% more fruits and vegetables. So just eating together can be a healthier path.
So, we live in an over 55 community here in Shrewsbury.
Okay.
And we have like a social committee that meets once a year and plans every month. We have a function.
Oh, nice.
And most of them are meals.
Mm-hmm.
So we have those of us who like to participate. We plan the meals and we
do a meal each month. And one day, one of the gals who was single said, you know, it's lonely eating at home all by myself. She said, why don't we plan something like a bring your own bag lunch, bag dinner?
Mm-hmm.
So we did that.
You did. How did it go?
It's once a month, the first Sunday of every month. Then there's always a little group that comes
together. Yeah.
We have a little clubhouse.
That
So
is
they make
wonderful.
just for themselves?
Just
Yep.
bring your own stuff.
Yeah. You can even just carry your own plate over and yeah.
Or there's usually paper plates.
Right.
But yeah, sure, whatever.
That's great because then you don't have to worry about
There's a
cooking.
Microwave and there is an oven,
Mm-hmm.
so if you need them,
That's great. That's great. And you're just cooking for yourself. You don't have to worry about cooking for a ton of
Right.
people.
right.
And you just know you won't be
But
eating
a
alone.
lot of
But
that
that has worked out really nicely
Okay.
because we do get a lot of people coming to our social functions once a month, and then that's an additional one in addition to
That is nice. How many people come to the other?
the larger events. Well, we have 73 units in
Okay.
our
I thought you were going to say 73 people. Okay.
So there's at least 73. Some are, husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
And at some of the functions, we'll get as many as 50. Well, the clubhouse, the fire department will only allow
Mhm.
52 people in the room. And we have enclosed.
Really? That's fabulous.
It's very close.
That's wonderful.
We even use the library as a,
Quick escape.
Another backup.
But that's usually the Christmas one. But other ones, I've been running a chicken dinner once a year, and that has become extremely popular. And we've had like 52 people.
Wow.
on that one.
How about the smaller group? Like cook, bring your own.
Oh, we will get at least 20.
Wow.
Yeah, for that.
That's wonderful. That is so good. And you could even build on that. It's like maybe we'll have it for, is it for like dinner?
Yeah.
Yep. Or you could have it, let's do it for breakfast.
We always
you
bring
know?
our wine before.
Oh, there we go. All right. And the address is, yeah. Mm-hmm. We're going to call the library. We're going to do, yep. We're all moving in.
It's a very popular place to come. As soon as the unit goes up, it gets bought.
Snatched right up.
And where is this?
Westbrook Crossing, it's down near, on the other side of the street from St. John's.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I have a friend who just moved in there.
Do you?
Oh, all right. We're all coming over. So you brought up another strategy, which I think is really good. So you have the, bring your own, BYOM, bring your own meal. What are some other strategies that you have either thought of or would like to try or we didn't mention?
We also had a dessert night.
A dessert night,
My
okay.
husband was the one that started.
So a variation on that. Even, I think that's a good way, even just to get people together initially, because most of us like sweets. Pat mentioned earlier that you have just started cooking for yourself over the past year now. There used to be a magazine called Seasoned, and it was to help folks who've never cooked before because they're widows or widowers, and their partner died, or they just don't know how to cook for one. And they don't issue the magazine anymore, but I will look to find some of the resources that I can share with you. I think they still have some of them online. And they were great. They're beautiful and colorful, and they're produced by a local organization called Chop Chop. And Chop Chop provides kids nutrition education, which reminds me to encourage you to consider even looking at kids' recipes,
Oh, sure.
because some of those are pretty simple, straightforward, and who doesn't love a peanut butter and jelly someday when you a bit of comfort, right? But that's another option that you could look at. All right. We mentioned good girl dinner, but also in appreciating yourself, make a nice place setting. Like bust out that nice china. Have a nice cup of tea in the teacup with the saucer. Every time I bring this up, someone's like, but then I have to wash the dishes. I can't put them in my dishwasher.
Oh, I have.
It's an
mine
option.
made
By
up.
now, you can put them in the
I'm
dishwasher.
Now you can, right? Yeah, yeah. Maybe not like Grandma Sade's.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care.
They can still want stuff anyway.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
What's that?
Our kids don't want anything.
Right,
They
yeah.
don't want
They don't want it.
It's a whole different generation.
Yeah. Swedish death cleaning will be a whole nother class. Not nutrition related, but I would definitely love to chat about it. We already covered the social component of it. The cooking challenge, it can even be online. You already talked about cooking together, inviting company, and then also back to the headphones. If you have friends or family that are far away and you have an iPhone or want to do video calls, you can FaceTime while you're cooking. It might get a little hard to hear, but it's still an opportunity for you to cook while you're in Michigan and I can cook while I'm in Boston. And then you're just kind of still hanging out together. Some people do that not with food. So,
The downside of that is that you are more likely to burn your meal.
to burn your meal. That could happen. You could be more likely to burn your meal, yes, if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, if you're
Yes,
multitasking.
we want kitchen safety above all else, indeed.
So how do we, this is a problem for those of us who are older, to remember, to turn off, how do we know when we've overcooked something and when it's,
The clock, the alarm on the, oh yeah, I use that all the
I
time.
use my timer.
The timer that goes, buzz, and you gotta get up and go there.
Right. So you can set a timer, even on the microwaves, you can set a timer when you're cooking or baking, or if you're worried about making sure that you've shut off all your appliances, you can make a list if you have like a whiteboard on your fridge or, a checklist before you go to bed, as if you were gonna leave the
that's why
house.
I'm more likely to use the microwave than the stove, because
Yeah,
I burn food and I don't want to do that.
great. And you gotta be careful too when you're using the microwave with the steam, definitely, yeah,
Right, what do you mean?
yeah.
What do you mean you have to be careful with the steam?
Because microwaves work by heating up the moisture in your food, and then if you leave it in and it get too hot, the steam can burn you.
You lift up.
Yep.
Come up
Yeah.
and
If you don't, even if you have it vented, yeah, right. We covered this, the cooking clubs. You guys are ahead of me already. And, there's one at the library, but you don't like the one at the library. Looks like we got a couple people who could start one right here. All right. True or false? I think you have the answers in your handouts, but don't be. All right. Is it hard to make a nutritious meal for one?
Different.
Yeah, it's not hard, but it's kind of a little more inconvenient, maybe. I'll watch my language since I'm being recorded. How about adjusting to cooking for one can take time? Definitely, definitely. Are leftovers your only option? Nah. They are an option, but not the only one. Is a bowl of cereal a meal? I know. Part of me wants to change this to say yes and just clarify that, yes, it can be a meal. Is it like the most well-rounded meal? No. So we're going to put that one in the middle.
If you
What-
have a bowl of oatmeal and you put blueberries in it and you put yogurt in it, it can be a meal.
Yeah, you can bump it up definitely. Yeah.
You
And
need,
it's
you need lettuce.
Pass.
what we want to avoid, I know you get like the spirit of the law versus the letter of the law, but what we want to avoid is the tea and toast syndrome, where you're just eating enough to stave off the hunger, right? So we're just like, I'm hungry, so I'm just going to have something quick, like a bag of potato chips. Then you're not hungry, but it wasn't quite a meal. All right. Are 3 square meals a day necessary? No. You can snack all day long if you want, as long as you're getting your fruits and your veggies and your protein in there. So it doesn't have to be so regimented, especially you don't want to be cooking once, let alone 3 times a day, right? This goes back to thinking of what you have on hand and what you want to make sure that you either don't run out of or have that you can use with the most variety, right? Our condiments are basically the no-brainer. But what types of fruits and veggies will last longer? I mentioned the frozen often, and that's true too for frozen fruit. Yes, the texture and flavor can be a little different, frozen spinach versus fresh spinach, so we can't make all of the interchanges, but they're good to have on hand. Before I jump, what do you always want to have on hand? I mentioned mine are the black beans and tomatoes. What do you always want to have on hand?
Frozen fruit, I put for shakes, protein shakes.
Okay, frozen fruit for protein shakes, which is a really good way. Like you get your eggs. Okay, yep.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Frozen meals.
Frozen meals. Yep. Especially or a can of soup. Like whenever sometimes I make sure I just have that one can of soup in there. So I'm like, okay, that's it. Yep.
Fruit in season.
In season fruit. Yep.
I have a question about the cans.
Yeah.
I think you need more sodium for a can.
Need more sodium?
I mean, I think some of us who are older are watching sodium
Mm-hmm.
and also calories, but certainly sodium, and canned food, I think,
Yeah.
has more sodium
Yeah.
than,
They sell the no sodium or low.
Or you can rinse too. So like black beans. So I encourage people to.
something in a can without, I don't know, you can
No,
check
it will
We'll
say-
check.
how much sodium.
But
is in
it depends on the food.
But that's the problem in the grocery store.
It is because
to buy.
anything that like is already prepared is going to have more sodium. It's the convenience, it's the food preservation method. But that doesn't mean everything in a can has a lot of sodium. But like you said, you can buy the lower sodium options or the regular option and save yourself 30 cents and just
Tell me how
rinse
much
it.
sodium is in those cans?
Yeah, when I get to it. Yep, when we do that, we will. Okay. All right. These are some ideas for these two base ingredients that I keep referencing. Burritos, burrito bowls, so there's black bean. I like black beans. Kidney beans are fine, but I like black beans, and so it's easy to use. You can have Cuban beans with sweet potatoes. I have a recipe that I will give to you for that. Black bean soup. Throw in our eggs there, and then you can also, like if you're going to have a salad, and I know a lot of people don't want to make a giant salad and make all that, but you can, open up a can of black beans and bump up the protein a little bit in your salad. Tomato soup, you can make some braised chickpeas, shashushka, again with the eggs, minestrone soup, Mexican rice, casserole, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
What's
Right.
shakshuka?
Shashuka. It is more of a Middle Eastern dish with braised tomatoes and like egg dropped on top, and it's pretty delicious. All right.
What are braised chickpeas? I've tried toasting them and stuff.
You can roast them. It's just another way of cooking them. It's usually
No,
in
they never
in
seem to
liquid.
Come out the way I think.
The chickpeas. So if you're roasting your chickpeas, it's very tedious. It's recommended, you don't have to, but it's recommended that you remove the skin.
Oh,
And then that'll get them crispier. But then when you store them, they get like moist. So they only stay crunchy for a little while. But they're delicious. Yeah. Yeah. It's a little investment. What you can do is if you open a can of chickpeas, rinse them, put them on a towel, and then sort of roll them. Yeah. It's easier to pick some of the skins off. Make it your own adventure. I know I'm here giving you some ideas, but you go do your own thing. Take a little bit of what we talked about and figure out how it's going to work for you. Remember Sandra Lee, semi-homemade? Adopt that style. Start with a regular recipe, but shift it. Or use one of the frozen meals, but say, I think it needs a few more veggies, and throw some frozen veggies in there. All right. So it can be fun, cooking for one. It's different. It's a shift that a lot of us have to make at this stage in our lives. But cooking more well-rounded meals is going to improve our health, our mental capacity, and enhance our quality of life. It also, it says here, helps manage your weight and your biomarkers. So if you think about any chronic conditions that you have, diabetes, or if you're watching your cholesterol, or if you're trying to lose weight, the better you cook, the more likely that will positively impact those lab values. Okay. Does anybody have any questions right now? We're going to make a little dish here. Was this helpful at all? I know it's all common sense and stuff that you know.
No, explaining it
Yeah.
is good.
It puts it in perspective?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I know for me, I'm type 2 diabetic and I just got diagnosed with chronic kidney disease. So it's got me thinking about how I can adapt, and I'm just learning about the kidney things.
Mm-hmm.
But how I can adapt those requirements to this.
Okay. That sounds great. And I will give you another tip around managing kidney issues is there's a really wonderful website called the Kidney Dietitian.
Okay. Is it spelled out THE, kidney?
I think
Google
so.
that.
I think so. Her name is Melanie Betts, but she actually debunks some of the myths and will help people feel like it's more manageable. So it's a really great resource for
Because it's
folks.
very overwhelming.
Yes, yes. So
The
definitely
kidney
check her out.
dietitian,
Yep,
okay.
kidney dietitian.
Yeah, I also have chronic kidney disease, and I was able to change my numbers by working myself to hydrate better.
Mm. Yeah, we all need some hydration.
Should talk about different ways to hydrate, to make water more tasty.
Yeah, we can talk about that while we do this. Oh, one of the other things I want to give you is, in addition to the handouts, there's a one-page fact sheet sort of summarizing what we were just talking about. You're welcome. All right. All right. I've only used this once before. I was telling some folks, so it might burn off a little bit of the rubbery pad smell at once.
What kind of oil?
So this is, it's by a company on the Cape, and this was a gift. And every holiday season, my boss gives us different varieties of this. And this is Persian lime infused olive oil. It's by Ripe on the Vine, and the lime sort of fits in with some of the flavors that we have here. I'll pass it around if you want to check out the bottle. So you can see where it's, are we cooking? Are we cooking with gas? Oh, we got to crank that sucker up. No gas. Electric. It's electric. Boogie, woogie, woogie. All right, you wanted to check out the sodium. So in the black beans, for half a cup, it was 350 milligrams, which is 15% of your dietary value. And the tomatoes are 280 for half a cup. So,
That's a lot.
Amazon grocery?
yeah, Amazon. Oh, yes, yes.
You buy that on Amazon?
I do. Yep. Without plugging Amazon, I'm going to tell you about my Amazon shopping experience. No. You know Instacart, right? The delivery.
Yeah.
So I live in Boston, but I do not keep my car in Boston because parking is too expensive. And I do have a grocery store now close to me, but I'm lazy now and I order off Amazon Fresh. It's their delivery service, their grocery deliveries. And it's like a certain dollar amount. The delivery is free and the prices are lower, I will say. I was shocked, so I had to buy a new bottle of, this is one of like my secret weapons. I absolutely love the Tabasco, but it's the Chipotle pepper, so it's like a little smokier infused. In my grocery store, I think it's $5 or $6. And I saw it on Amazon when I was buying this, a new one last night. It was like $3. I think this was 89 cents. Yeah, so the prices are definitely cheaper. Yep. Shocker, right?
Tabasco.
The Tabasco. Yep.
Something about Chipotle.
Chipotle. So it's a pepper.
So it's
It's smoked.
different
It's a
Tabasco.
different one. Yes. See how it's like darker brown here? Yes. All right. All right. So I went ahead and I'm going to have some onions in here. Ooh, we're smelling. All right. I used to, in another life, have a job where I went around and did cooking demos at food pantries to encourage people to use the fruits and vegetables that were being provided. because people would, receive it. It was back, not all of the pantries were choice pantries. And people were, so, what do I do with this giant head of purple cabbage? And we would have recipes and taste tests. So I'm a little bit out of practice. So be gentle with me here. All right, we're gonna let those saute a little bit. What else could you add to this, getting started?
What did you put in?
Just onions. With some peppers, yep, whether they're fresh.
Olive, why you got that in?
A little garlic, minced garlic or not. So this is the recipe that we're gonna make today, generally speaking. And on the back is the Cuban black beans with sweet potatoes, which takes a little time, but oh my gosh, so delicious. I'll send those around. I call it Tara's go-to. This is what I cook when I don't feel like cooking. All right, this is,
Oh, gosh, it smells good already.
doesn't it already? Yeah, these will take it'll take a little bit here. But you mentioned some ways to stay hydrated.
Yeah, if you don't like water.
If you don't like water, okay, how do you stay hydrated?
If you don't like to drink 8 glasses of water.
Right. So what are some methods that you guys use if you don't want to drink plain water? Because I have trouble with that myself.
Well, since I need the sodium, I
Mhm.
have bouillon a lot.
Oh, bouillon. Oh, yeah, like a hot cup of bouillon or something? Yeah.
But a lot of people don't do that.
But you know what you could do with a little bit of that too? And just throw a little bit of pasta in there. So it's like a very loose
A crystal light to get flavor.
crystal. Yes.
I have that all the time.
I used to, remember when that came out back in the 80s? I used to drink it all the time. I would do my little workout and I was home.
So question, what drinks do hydrate? I mean, like coffee doesn't out.
Coffee does. There's a little bit of science behind it. It does. It also encourages your kidneys to get cranking.
It's a diuretic.
It's not. A lot of people think it's a diuretic, but it isn't. You can avoid coffee though if you feel that it is. What happens usually with people with the coffee is that they don't drink anything else. And so that increases your water loss. Okay, we're gonna get smoky. Normally I wouldn't have put the tomatoes in next, but the onions needed a little moisture. So this is just 1 can of fire roasted tomatoes. I like the fire roast, I think it's a little extra. Really any beverage, tea, coffee, Crystal Light, plain water, you can get some of the flavorings. You can also just have lemon juice or lime juice. You could put some fresh fruit in there. Sometimes it's the temperature of the water that will encourage you to drink more. And I will say,
Cold or warm?
depends on the person. Like I prefer cold water, and I've never been until a few months ago a water bottle person, and I bought this water bottle and I absolutely love it. I'll put ice in it and water in it like at night, forget about it, and it will still be cold in the morning. So I call it my breakfast water. We're supposed to have some water before we have our coffee in the morning, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's not just beverages. Also think of any wet foods, whether it's fruit, something like this is pretty moist. So every time, watermelon, yep, definitely. Your soups, your stews, your Tara's to-go meals, those will all help you increase your hydration. Now we're really cranking here.
Can I ask you how much water they told you to drink?
This is fire roasted corn that we're going to add to, which was frozen.
It's gonna be really spicy.
No, it's just like a deeper flavor. It's not hot. It's not hot spicy. And then this was, oh, that's later. That's the cheese. And this is a can of black beans.
I've never, some beans I've never tried before.
No?
Never tasted.
All right, so this one, the black beans. I don't know if you can see it. It smells like I'm burning the little rubber on there now. Can you see it? A little bit? All right, so we'll let that heat through. And then what I also do, I don't do a lot of like salt and pepper. I figure there's already some sodium in with the tomatoes. You can add salt and pepper if you want. I just add a little bit of cumin. Gives it that more like Mexican flavor that we're familiar with. And it keeps it simple. And cumin I always have in the pantry as well. So we'll put a little bit of that one. And somebody was asking me at one point, like, what kind of spices you recommend, and I have to say, I've heard so many good things, like McCormick is really the way to go. Like, you can go and get more expensive and, craft spices, but McCormick actually does a really good job.
Those new tops seem to keep them fresher.
Right? I like them. And did you know you're not supposed to do this when the steam is coming up, because then the water gets in it. Do what you want at home, right? Yeah. Okay, so I will make,
You're supposed to put it in.
what?
You're not supposed to put it in when it's steaming?
Oh, you're not supposed to like shake
Shake
something over, the steam.
So
Yeah.
the steam gets inside the spice barrel.
So many things we're not supposed to do, right? Okay, so this, I would let it cook, and then what I do at home is I grab some flour tortillas, and I'll like stick these either in the microwave for a few seconds. Sometimes, super lazy girl, I'll just stick it on top of the toaster and turn the toaster on and then flip it over. What a role model. Or,
Say that again?
so you take one, instead of putting it like in the slot in the toaster, I have a 2-slot toaster. I just lay it over the top and turn the toaster on. But then you got to be careful that it doesn't burn.
Yeah.
It's just enough. Or you can eat it right out of the package. It's fine. You don't have to warm it up. The other thing you can do is get the ready rice, which I don't like cooking rice. I don't know why. It just takes, it's water and rice, and you boil it and I leave it alone, right? But this is 90 seconds. You buy these, you smush them up, you vent it a little bit and stick it in the microwave. And then what you can do is pour this over the top of your rice if you don't want to have it in like a burrito style.
Trader Joe's has jasmine rice, and packaged with the microwave for 3 minutes, and it's really good.
Perfect to go, ready to go, right? Yeah. And yes, it is more expensive than if you buy regular bulk rice, but again, it's the trade-off. You can get a rice cooker.
Just add water.
You could do that. I don't want any more appliances, but you can. Yeah.
Takes 20 minutes at the most.
I feel like whenever I make rice, like I don't have the right size pan to cook the amount I need, I guess is my issue. It's either too small or too big. And then if I'm going to make it, I'm like, well, I might as well make a bunch of it, and then I don't eat it all. See, I'm right with you guys. I have the same challenges. All right. How does that smell to everybody?
Yeah.
Should I put a little bit of this in there just for flavor? It won't make it really hot. Just a little.
Sure.
We'll do a little. And then you can decide if you want to have more. But, oh, okay. We gave the table a little bit there too. Can you tell this is mine from home?
Can you buy roasted corn, or do you have
Yeah.
to roast it?
The roasted, so I added the roasted corn. It was frozen.
I've never seen, oh.
Also from you know where. Trader Joe's has a really good roasted corn too. That's when I started to do it. All right.
No, I haven't.
Do you? Let's see.
Is
I don't know.
Amazon Fresh different from Amazon?
No, it's just a different tab that you go to. Nope.
Never heard of that.
Yeah,
Never.
and you can choose like Amazon Fresh, like their own. I assume they have their own warehouse, or Whole Foods, because they bought Whole Foods. So either or. Did I? You know what? I went to turn it off and I turned it up. Okay. So
That's the problem with those of us who have memory.
yes, definitely. I mean that is a valid concern.
The problem with cooking for one, that there's no one to come by. and
Watch
say,
over you.
"Oh, yeah, turn it on."
Okay.
Right.
Let's do this. I know I don't have my gloves on, so let's take it off the heat first of all. If you want to have it in a tortilla, I want to dish it out for you guys, but if you don't, we can put it right on the plate. How do you want to do this?
Why don't you put it on the plate, and then if we take that, we can make our own.
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh, wait, and you know what? I forgot. Cheese. You said no lactose, right? No lactose for you? No cheese for you?
Oh, no, I can.
Oh, okay,
That
okay.
was me, yeah.
Oh, that was you. Okay. All right, let me do this. You know what? Let's put it. You want to have it in the tortilla? Well, I'll do the tortilla. But I don't have a glove. So I will use these tongs. Wow, we are making it up as we go today, aren't we? This will be interesting. Okay. Let's do it this way. This will take a little bit. Oh, I think there's 2 on there. Could help me out just a
Yeah.
sec. There we go.
I'll just separate the
There we go. Thanks for your patience. Are you guys ready to have a little sample? Uh-oh. It's not resounding.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Tara, we're ready. We're game. Take it. You can take it to go if you want. If you don't want to eat it here, it's totally fine.
Have it go up.
You know, you said take your teeth out. My grandfather's 80th birthday, we put 80 candles on his cake. And Sunday afternoon after the big football dinner, and we're all joking like, "Oh, don't forget to take your teeth out, Jim. We don't want you blowing it across the cake." And we all laughed, and he blew out his candles. Well, we videotaped it. He did take out his teeth, and none of us saw him do it. But we, like on video, we could see him like slide them back in. So it was pretty funny. Love him. You do you. All right.
I took out my lumber.
We're all friends here. We're gonna take out our teeth. We're gonna take out our lactose pills. All right. All right. So I'm gonna do. Let me do this.
Real tooth in January.
All right. And so what I do is I just take a little scoop of this, and I put it in the middle, and I roll it up. Oh, the cheese, yes. And then I roll it up. Let me dish these out first. This might be a little soupy, so sometimes you will cook it longer to boil off some of the moisture, or you just, sop it up afterward.
So this is Tara's go-to.
This is Tara's go-to. That's right. You got it. And then she usually goes to the freezer afterward for ice cream.
So
I am your favorite dietitian, aren't I? Oops.
meanwhile, you've got a can of this, a can of that, and da-da-da. So you're gonna have leftovers.
Yeah, so I'll eat this. I should have shredded more cheese. I'll eat this for a couple days in a row, definitely. And obviously, if you want avocado or sour cream, or you could just do a jar of salsa.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, you could add fresh peppers,
And sour cream.
Oops.
They both sound good.
right? Uh-oh, I'm getting stingy here on the cheese. I'm sorry, you guys. You sounded like, oh. Here we go. All right. Get the idea of it. All right. So let me pass those around, and then I have some other recipes for you guys. Actually, we can pass them. Want to pass them down? All right. I don't know if you have room. Nope. I think we're good. Okay. And there is more if you want to have more after your tortilla or without it.
If anybody wants silverware, there is.
Oh, yes,
some up
forks
here.
and spoons and some napkins. Do you want some space on the table? There you go. All right, so you have this recipe and another recipe for black beans. The other item that I have for you is a purple coleslaw, and I got this recipe through a vegan fitness program that I was trying one time. So it calls for vegan mayo. You can use any kind of mayo. But I picked it because the pantry has purple cabbage, if anybody wants from the pantry. She has a ton of vegetables, she says. She also has a ton of tomatoes. So if you wanted to use fresh tomatoes in this, you could do that as well. And the other item that she has are Italian sweet peppers. So you could put this in the dish as well. Okay, so you can mix and match. This coleslaw recipe I love because it's not really heavy mayo based. It's more of like a Dijon dressing, and it calls for basically half a head of the purple cabbage and half a pepper, and it keeps in the fridge for days, and it's good for your gut. Right. Everybody's chewing. What do we think? Isn't it good? Oh, good, 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 good. Anybody not like it, you can say you don't like it or how you would change it.
It's
No?
delicious.
Isn't it so easy, right? One easy
Well,
peasy.
and I'm surprised the way you were shaking all that hot sauce
I know.
over it.
I
Yeah.
expected it.
Yep.
It's not
Yeah, and if you,
even taste spicy to me.
it does or doesn't,
No.
right? It's more the flavor. I'm going to just leave these in the middle, and you can grab one of those too. Okay. I don't want to have to ask you too many questions while you have your mouth full, but I will ask one more time. Was this part helpful as well, just trying something new? Okay, so we'll do a cooking component each month with the nutrition ed piece as well. Okay, all right.
I love this.
You do? Well, thank you. All right, I am very happy to hear that. All right, I want to thank all of you for coming, and I will see you next month where, what did we say we were doing next month? Myths, food myths.
Food what?
Food, nutrition and food myths in November. So come join us and we'll see what we're going to make then too. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, thank you.